Hello everybody, I am Leslie Sattler from Green Earth Craft, and today we're going to be working on a book, and we're calling it a conversation starter. So I had this book that I made. Actually, I did it for scrapbooking. I had lots of different projects where I used this book base. And then I was talking to a friend of mine who is a professor, and she actually works with dementia patients. So she was explaining to me that in the college, they actually have her students make like these scrapbooks, and then they have patients that they work with, and they're called conversation starters. So they put images in it, and they put them all together, and then they start to have conversations with the people that they work with. So dementia is a broader word. I think there's lots of different versions of it, but I think the one that people are most common with is Alzheimer's. So it's dealing with memory loss. And although short-term memory loss is the first to go, long-term actually can still be there. And excuse me. And so part of these books, the concept is that maybe you can trigger some old memories, and then you can get the patients to start a conversation. And the advantage of that is A, it's always good to talk to someone, but B, it actually builds their confidence. It makes them feel better, because imagine if you were forgetting things. That would be very upsetting, actually. And the thing with Alzheimer's and different forms of dementia is, although you're forgetting things and your brain isn't functioning the way it should be, you are aware of that. So you're aware of what's happening to you. So part of these conversation starters is that it actually makes the patients feel better about themselves. So that, when my girlfriend was telling me that, I was like, that is a perfect project for teens, because you can make it. And honestly, maybe it makes you think twice about some people in your life, just talking to them. And a great way to talk to them is be specific, ask them specific questions. So I've divided these books into different themes, and what I want you to do is, I'm going to get into the how-tos and all that, but I just want to talk generally for a second. So I took some concepts. I did travel, I did sports, I did entertainment kind of is like, movies and maybe theater and things like that. I also did music, and then I did pets, because I thought that these could trigger good memories for people. And that's what it is. It's not about upsetting people. It's about giving them good memories, giving them something they want to talk about. So I focused on topics that A, I thought we could have visual aids with, and B, that I thought would bring up good memories. So here's one of my samples. So this one I did was travel. So what I want you to think about when we're doing it is, how do we start a conversation? So here I have London. So although you have your kits, this is a project that I would like you to take a little extra time, not just using what's in the kits, because you're going to have to draw things, you might have to write things. If you don't feel comfortable with that, maybe you have some images that you have at home. Maybe there's something you can print off your computer. Maybe there's a magazine at home. But basically what it is I don't want it to be, have you ever gone to London? If someone says yes, then we start a conversation. Did you go to Abbey Road? The Beatles were from London. Abbey Road is, I know, I have not been to London. I wish I had, but everyone I know that went to London went to Abbey Road. So, did you go to the London Bridge? When my niece went for her big birthday, she went to go see Phantom of the Opera. So you may have to do a little research. I tried to take notes on some of the images that I put in so that you can connect the dots, but I want you to push it that much further. What did you eat? Think about things like that. Anything that you can relate to. So like, even when so for sports, I have different things, but if you can get more details to spark more memories, that would be great, because it was hard for me in sports to necessarily get like old players and things like that. I tried to If I could, I did. Some things I printed off the computer. But it's about, did you play? You know, what kind of sports were you into? Maybe if we have a picture of football, we can write something about the Super Bowl, so that there's different things. Did you have Super Bowl parties? What did you eat at the Super Bowl parties? You know, if like you do something with football, maybe you have the Super Bowl, maybe you have like common Super Bowl food. So I want you to try and push it. Like you'll even see in entertainment, I have, if we did to the movies, I had like boxes of Raisinets. So I thought, you know, movie theater candy, popcorn, things like that, pets. So, you know, different kinds of pets. Like I did dogs and cats and all of them, but you know what? My mom, when she was younger, she actually had a pet monkey. So you wouldn't think that, but there it is. And some people never had pets, but are just going to be animal lovers, and that's going to start a conversation with them. So I want you to try and think clearly, but then a little outside the box. What can you do to add to it? How can you stir memories? Because the person that's going to read this with them may be a professional and may not. So the more memories that we can get stirred for them, the better. And also, if you know anybody, like if you have a senior home by you, if you have a grandparent or a family member in a senior home, I am totally not opposed to having you directly donate it once your librarian has seen that you've made it, whether you take a picture and you get your service. And if this takes you longer than an hour and you go to the hour and a half, then you've done a good job and you clearly deserve an hour and a half of community service. But we'll clearly be able to see that by the results of your book. Okay, so now let's get started with how we make a book. So the way that you're going to see is you're going to see that you're going to have 2 of these in there. And this is basically going to be your book. So you have a front and you have a back. So there are all different kind of papers, but I do have this in there a lot because I just felt like this is a really easy one. And the way that I'm going to do it is just very, very simple. What I do want you to see is it's nice if you can fold it over a little bit to get a finished look, but you do not need to cover the inside and the outside for the simple reason that when you put your book together, that's going to be covering. So all you're going to see is those little edges. So it'd be nice to have it fold over a little bit, but you're not going to be seeing this whole inside. So it's really about getting your outside done. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go very simple. And I almost want you to think of it like you're wrapping a package. I'm using a glue stick. I want you to use whatever is best for you. When it comes to paper, I like a glue stick. Sometimes you may need something a little stronger, and if you do, you can tape, you can do whatever you need to do. So you're going to see that this is bigger than the area, and what I'm going to do is just really, really rub it down. I wouldn't like if I moved it over a little bit, but I want you to see that I have the edges like this. So ideally I would have had it a little bit more centered. In fact, I am going to change that. It's just easier if I do it down, and then you'll see what I mean. Okay, so that's what I mean. I like it a little bit more centered so you see that there's paper around all the edges. And I'm gonna say that you really need to press this down. You really need to let it dry. I'm just moving forward for time's sake. So this is actually a little trick. What I do is just at the edges, I cut off a triangle. So I'm gonna do that at all the edges. This I have a little bit more than I need. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut off. And quite frankly, this is a lot of extra. So I'm just going to trim that down. It's not helping us. Okay? So now I want you to see what I mean. I cut off all the edges, and then what I do is I take my glue and I bring it in. And I like to work opposite ends. So if I do this side first, I want to do this side next. And if you're having any trouble, let's just say that this is not that wide or you don't have extra paper, I don't want you to worry about it. Like one trick you could always do is if you have a little bit of Scotch tape or even fancy tape like what's that called? Washi tape. You can do that on the inside. I'm just showing you other options, ways to help you. And then after I do that, I'm gonna go to the top. This happens to be very thick board. I really didn't use that many of these. That's why I'm using it on my sample because I like the thinner board more. But when it is like that, that's actually the area that I should have done the tape on. And also just because I'm doing it quickly, that's part of the problem too. So I am gonna tape it because it is a valid way to do it. Here you see I didn't have to, I had enough paper, and then I would do this as well. And then what you're gonna see is, I'm gonna smooth that out a little bit, is that what you have. I always keep like extra gift cards after I've used them, I keep them, and the reason is, here my thing's getting a little, is they are great for paper crafts. And that is how I can smooth it all out. Do you see how I'm getting all those bubbles out of it? Okay, so then this is the part. If you see on your bag, let me get one of my bags. Okay, so this says travel, and I wrote USA. I want on this for you to write travel. I don't care if you cut letters out of a magazine. I don't care if you print it up on the computer. I don't care if you write it. I just want that to be legible on the front because ideally, when we are giving them to people, they're going to know their patients. They're going to know, oh, you know what? I know that so-and-so used to travel. This may be a good book for them. Oh, I know that Sally loves animals. Let's give her the one with pets. So I just want everything to be on the cover and labeled clearly. And you know what? Look inside your book. Is there something inside your bag? Is there a nice image you want to put on the front? I have lots of different things. Sometimes I have papers. I don't want you to be limited. I don't want you to see this and go, boom. I want you to think, well, do I want to cut out a soccer ball? Do I want to make a strip of this and put it along the edge over there? I mean, clearly this is for sports, but you know what? It may not necessarily be. This could be for travel too. Maybe, you know, like if you go to Ireland, that's where golf began. So maybe you started golfing when you went to Ireland. Some people travel, like I know me personally, I have traveled to different states and different countries to see certain museums. So that's my passion. So there's all different ways that you can do it, and you'll see that in there too. Sometimes I'll have paintings, and the paintings will be at a certain gallery, or the artist was French, and I have a picture of the Eiffel Tower. So I've written the notes on it, but you need to kind of look into that a little bit, and I've tried to label something. I don't want to assume that everybody knows what everything is. So, and I also want you to think, well, you know what? This would be a good thing too. Maybe you have a thought on, if you pick up a sports packet and you're a big sports person, maybe you have some great ideas you want to add to that as well. And that's what it's about. Just make it positive, make it anything that can lead to a happy memory. That's what I want you to do. And make it appealing to the eye. Like this it's not the same thing, but it's what I did with younger kids, and it's called Did You Know? So you can see clearly that's what it is from the title on the front. It's festive. And then as you see, you'll open it up and there's different facts. So basically what it's going to be is you're going to have 3 separate areas. 1, 2, and 3. You have 5 pieces of paper, but you have 3 separate areas. If you get crazy and want to do something on the back, that's fine too. But what I would like to make sure you do is that you open it like this, and those are all filled with different ideas. Like I kept this one together, I kept this one as one, and I kept this one as one. So that's what I want you to do. Just think about it. And for this, honestly, these are all letters I cut out of a magazine. That's all it was. That's how I did it. This for travel, I wrote travel. But then I saw a big camera because before the days of the iPhone, you actually took a camera with you when you went away. So some people still do it, but it's a rarity. So, I mean, my dad had a huge camera collection. So I wrote camera, maybe you fly there, you know, all those different things. Anything that can lead to a memory. Because although flying is very common now, you know, for older people, it really wasn't. It was very, very expensive, and it became more and more affordable as time went on. So flying was a big deal back then. So we're gonna decorate our front. That would be our front, and then we're gonna decorate the back, which the back doesn't have to be so fancy. I don't think I did much on the back on these. That I just did a recycling thing because it was recycled. This I just kept solid. So that's up to you. I don't think you need to worry about the back, but the front cover, it's just like anything. If you go and look at a book, the first thing you see is the front cover. So remember that. It's your first impression, and I want you to take your time on that. So the next thing that I want you to know how to do is how to do the inside pages. So here you're going to see, I think in most of them I have one that is folded, but I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. This is the part where I don't want you to rush. I don't want you to rush on any of it, but this is the part I want you to take your time with. So I'm going to show you what I mean. You have a full sheet, and you're going to hold it from the top. You'll be doing this flat. I'm doing it so you can see. And you're going to line it up. So I get my corner over there and my corner over there. So before I fold it, before I press down, I want to make sure my corners are lined up. I take from the top and I go down. Take from the top and I go down. Then I push it. Now here's one of my tricks. I'm going to go back again to my handy dandy card and watch. I have a perfect fold. Okay, so I'm going to use two different colors on purpose. A lot of you may have the same color, you may have two, you may have a bunch of colors, but I'm going to use two different colors so you can see clearly how we're going to put this together. So the very first thing you're going to do, and it doesn't matter which way, is just glue it into your first page. So let me see, I think I have one glued in for you to see, which will make it a little bit easier. Okay, here we go. So you see, I just glued it in. This is a different one. This is one that I had done for like a little personal diary. So you do this, you glue it in. Just like what you said, I have a little bit at the edge, but I don't need much to cover it, and it doesn't matter which way I glue it in. Whatever your first one is, you just want one side pressed against. But what I want you to see is this opens like this. So the next page, so I'm going to show you, this opens towards you. The next page is going to open away from you. So I would take this and I would put glue right there, and then I would glue this on. Before you glue it, you're going to make sure it's correct by doing this. That's correct. I'm going to show you what's not correct. If I do this, it doesn't open up. It just keeps going like that. But if I do it correctly, then I get a bigger page. It's called the accordion. So it's an accordion book. So basically you're gonna have 5 pages and you're just gonna alternate. So then I did this one facing me, and I'm gonna do the next one facing you. And I would glue that on, and now that faces you. And I'm gonna show you, and there you go. You're getting right into the book, and you'll know if you're doing it right, because at the end, I'm gonna show you this one more time. At the end, it opens like this. And if it's not opening like that, it means it's not correct. Which all it means is just switch it around. You'll know if it's not, because this is giving you think of it like, literally like an accordion. That's exactly what it is. And you'll see from the back, it's the same exact thing from the back, except I don't have images on the back. So you're going to alternate it, and basically, when you get to your last page, you would put it on, and then you just get your next cover, which is right here. And you glue that on, and then you have your book. So you're just alternating from one side to the other. You want one page to face away, you want one page to face towards you, and then you glue it, and then you get the accordion. Okay? If you have any problems with that, just watch this again. So I'm going to, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do this, okay? So I glued on my first page, and it's opening like that. So now I'm going to take my glue, and always when you glue, I know it seems like a silly thing to say, but I always go around all my edges, and then I make a big X in the middle. So now I'm going to check. This is opening towards me, so I'm going to have this open towards you. So I'm going to line it up. These are not exactly the same exact size. I'm going to press it down, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to check it. Okay? This is the correct way. What I'm going to do is the incorrect way so that you can see that. So that you see the difference. See? That's the incorrect way. And you can see because look at the position. So I want you to see the correct way again. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to open it, and you can see the correct way. And that's how you'll know. Honestly, if you're having trouble, you have two ways to do it. Just do it and check it. And if it opens like this, it's correct. If it doesn't, turn it around. It really is. It's that simple. Don't complicate it. But the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to start by doing your front cover. Then you'll do your back cover. You'll slowly fold all your pages. And then you will assemble your book. Do not decorate the inside pages until your book is assembled. And honestly, if you have the time, if you're watching the video and you have the time, you can even put your book together and put some heavier books on it. So it really seals it down, it presses it down and holds it together, and then you can go decorate it. If you don't have time and you want to do it all at once, that's fine too. But when you're done, I would take heavier books. I would put them all together and put it on top of your book, leave it overnight, and then check it and make sure everything is glued down. If you're having any issues, use some tape. But that is basically how you're going to assemble it. And I want each page to be a story. So just like what I'm showing you here, this is London. And I want you to look inside your bags. I'm gonna go inside one of these bags right here. Okay, so like on this one, I have pets. And then I had a thought like at the very last minute because I was looking through an old calendar and I did all these really cute animals and you could do it in fun ways, and I had different things in there, like I have this. So maybe you want to put this on the side and you have like a little edge. Then I would trim it right there, glue that on, and then maybe I write pets. And some of the things I actually gave you letters, you know, I did try to include different kind of pets. Sometimes there's stickers. Sometimes there's, like I did heart to heart because we love our pets. So everybody has all different things. And then I actually have, sometimes you'll see like different kind of pieces. And the reason why I have different pieces is I'm going to show you like my idea for that. This happens to have been cut out already. But like, let's just say I want to highlight that. So I trim this down and I could put that down. And maybe I write meow or yummy or something like that. You can figure out how you want to do that. But don't just go in there and slob it down. I want you to really kind of, we call it fussy cutting, but I want you to don't be afraid to trim down. Like, you know, and look. And also, especially in these sports, a lot of the sports ones were from like Sports Illustrated Junior. So I want to make sure that you're really cutting them out without it being like you're giving it to a baby, because the images are all good, but some of it has like different kind of wording. Some of it's funny, and I think that's fine to include. But like here, I'm just going to show you what I mean. Okay. So I trim that down. But let's just say I want to do that. I don't need all that wording in there. So I can trim that, and then I'm going to just trim around this. I'm doing it a little quickly. But here, I'm going to show it on here because I think that's a much easier way to see it. And then I could put it on there. And you're going to see I have footballs, I have soccer balls, I have all this different scrapbook paper that I had that I tried to put in. And basically I tried to use anything I could that I thought would be interesting. And that's how I want you to do it. So one other thing I'm going to say too, when you're laying out a page, so what that means when I say laying out a page is you're taking the different images you have, you're deciding what you want to put together, because if you have Paris on one page, you may want everything that's French on that page. And then if you have a bunch of different countries on the other one, maybe you say, where have you been? And you have a bunch of different places on there. That's a perfect way for travel. Another way is if you're traveling in the USA, did you go camping? Did you do skiing? Did you travel to ski? Did you go to museums? Did you go on hikes? There's all different things you can bring into one simple topic. But when I say lay it out, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I put everything down. This is coming out. I put everything down, and this is actually a good point. Be a little careful in the bend. Make sure you really glue it well, because if it's constantly moving in the bended area, that's a really easy place for it to come off. So just be a little bit careful with this. And then I had this Abbey Road, and I cut it in a funky way, and then I saw, oh, I have like a little room over here. So I laid it out. I put everything down before I glued it. And then I was like, okay, this page is done. I'm going to glue it down, and now I'm going to go to my next page. So that's what I mean by laying out and by being thoughtful. Taking a moment to look at it, see what you like. Do you like it? Do you not like it? I had things I put down that didn't work. You know, maybe I have a great image and it's really big, and I make that the whole focal point. That's okay too. You know, you just want it to be visually appealing, and you want to start a conversation. So I really appreciate you doing this today. It's a very good thing, and I really, really do appreciate it. So this is Leslie Sattler saying thank you. Thank you for taking the time to help someone else today, and have a great day and stay safe.